But this is the bus. We are on tour. We started in Texas at the beginning of April. We did Burnet, Texas, San Antonio, made a little pit stop in Dallas. Now we're in Memphis. We got our seed library right here. So this is made from an old library card catalog in a wheelbarrow. And if you open these up, they're all full of seeds. We have like our little kitchen area, so we're going to use this for culinary demonstrations. Once you get people growing their own food, they need to know what to do with it. So if they are trying to grow something that they might not necessarily know how to cook, we have the opportunity using this, and we'll have a culinary demonstration up there as well to kind of draw that line from the garden to the table a little more clearly.
And highly anticipating our community farmers market is what we've been calling it, in collaboration with the Big Green DAO. We're proud members of the Big Green, and so they have been traveling multi-city across the country.
Our goal as Big Green is to get 1,000 new home garden kits in the world on this tour. It's a 5-gallon cloth pot, growing apparatus, a bag of soil. There's a choice between radishes, bunching onions, basil, or all three. So folks can pick what they think they want to eat or what they want to grow, or just experiment with all of them, as well as materials for support. So if you're a first-time grower, you get one of those kits. There's a card with information on how to plant the seed, how to know when it's ready for each stage of development, as well as a QR code to go to online resources to support someone through the entire growing process. So if you've never grown before, you can grab one of these kits and you're not on your own.
How did y'all get into food and like growing food?
You know, this was God purpose work. We ended up, my husband is a former firefighter for the city of Memphis, and he started growing food as a hobby. Now, my family has grown food my whole life. I grew up with my grandfather growing food and my grandmother taking it to the kitchen and cooking it for our large family. So, it's very nostalgic for me, but not for so many current day. Yeah. And so once we started growing food, he would give it to people at the fire department.
Like, this looks familiar.
Yes, his co-workers would call and ask for peppers and tomatoes. Then, our family knew what we were doing, and then it spiraled on to our church and our community members. And, I looked up in 2019, and I have a history in business management. And I said, you know what, Bobby, we need to turn this into a business because the need is there. And we've been going ever since.
We are right now currently on 0.3 of an acre, which is our original lot. It was called Blight. It was in the land bank for a couple of decades. We just knew it was right. We knew this is where we wanted to be. The old concrete stairs, the old porch lifted up uptown. They don't make stuff like this anymore. It's like a time capsule.
It just looked like an inner city farm once we found this space.
And it was like up elevated. It has these big old trees, sycamores and magnolias, and it was just calling out to us.
Yeah. It is not just Greenlaw community members who come here for fresh food or to use this as an enjoyable space, but local Memphians. Yeah. And so because of that, need has increased tremendously.
The secret's out.
The secret is out. We had to expand because we have to serve more people.
Black Seeds Urban Farms is a member of the Big Green DAO, which is a group of nonprofits that directs a treasury towards the next round of granting. So rather than an opaque granting process or grant making process, it's a super short 10 to 15 minute application. It's voted on by other frontline nonprofits, and that's how funds are dispersed.
So we've been doing this work for several years now, and it has word is spread locally. And so someone mentioned to one of the DAO members, actually one of the board members, what we were doing, and they came and visited our space, and we were like recruited.
All of us have something in common. We all have a passion to grow food in areas that sometimes are intentionally disinvested.
We also know that a lot of communities in the United States don't have fresh food readily available. Organizations like Black Seeds Urban Farms, other community health organizations, closing that gap and saying, we're not going to wait for something to change, we're going to be the change and start a garden and get people in the garden and get people growing healthier, more sustainable food.
Growing food changes lives.
Growing food changes lives. That's like our mantra.
We believe growing food changes lives. And we say that for a lot of different reasons. It gets people outside, it gets them closer to nature, it gets them closer to their food supply, gives them a healthier, more sustainable source of food that they have ownership over and that they can control, gets you closer to the impacts of climate change in your community. And it also brings people together in the garden. So all of those factors, when someone takes the step to plant their first seed and start their garden, it's kind of opening up a world that the possibilities are kind of limitless.